everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I would like to review two books which have been released here in Denmark in May of this year, and I've already mentioned them in my May reading vlog, so in case you haven't checked that out yet you can do that just now. But the books I'm going to discuss today are first Fay Weldon's selected novels, which is also called Mischief in English, and the other one is Between Shades of Grey by Ruta Sepetys. There's no doubt that these two books are very different from each other, but I'm going to get more into that right now. So let me start with this novel, which is not really a novel but a collection of 21 of Fay Weldon's best short stories. She selected these herself, and she has selected some stories which all revolve around the theme of feminism. Before I get into the book, I would like to point out that this cover is so stunning. I still catch myself staring at it at times just because it's my favorite book of all time when it comes to its cover. I think it's stunning. I do believe that the English version also looks similar. So in case you would like to add this book to your collection just because of its beauty, then go for it, I would say. The actual book in itself was interesting to me because I've never read anything by Fay Weldon, and I was interested to read about feminism, but I didn't know what to expect. I was planning on putting a star next to all the stories that I really liked. The thing is that I loved every story almost, so that didn't make sense. I really think that every story has its own beauty. They are very poignant. Fay Weldon does a great job at introducing everyone in a few lines so that you really know who they are even though you haven't been with them for that long, and then she continues the story. Some of the stories were shorter than others, but they all really satisfied me. Needless to say, I loved this collection. I was very much surprised. I didn't expect to love it as much as I did. I had heard that Fay Weldon is a quite well-known and well-loved author, but that doesn't mean that everyone likes her. What I'm trying to say is I was surprised. I loved this collection and I ended up giving it 4.5 out of 5 stars. Just because of the last story, which was also the longest one. It was about 100 pages and it wasn't just as poignant as the other stories. So let's move on to the second book, which was released in May, and that is this one, as I mentioned in the beginning, Between Shades of Grey by Ruta Sepetys. This book is a young adult novel about World War II and about a family who is being deported to Siberia. The main character is a very young girl, so she has no clue as to what is happening. She keeps questioning what is happening, and that is why in the beginning of the book I actually thought that she was about 11 years old, just because she didn't seem to understand anything at all. She didn't seem to know that there was a war going on, or that things that were happening weren't necessarily understandable, but still they happen. It's kind of hard to explain, but I was definitely convinced that she would be about 11 years old. Turns out that she is actually 15 years old, which I didn't feel corresponded to her behavior. This book obviously deals with a very important, however heavy topic. Obviously it's going to be devastating, it's going to be heartbreaking, and it definitely was. The thing is, I felt like this book was too much. It was too heavy. The story in itself was heavy enough, but what Ruta Sepetys does in each chapter is to end it up with a moral, or a very, I would like to call it a poisoned line, just because it stood out. She was just trying to accentuate the heaviness of the story, and I didn't like that because I was suffocating already from reading the chapters. I didn't feel like every chapter needed that poisoned line in the end. As you can probably hear from my review, I wasn't a big fan of this book. I mean, I liked it. I do think that books like these are very important just because they make us remember what was really going on in the past, but I just feel like there were some aspects of this novel which didn't really grab me and which I didn't really like. So all in all, I really think this story is important, but I do think that it could have been written a little bit better. So I ended up giving this novel 3 out of 5 stars. So that is it for my video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day everyone. Happy reading.